All right, for this one, stand with one foot in front of the other. Maybe have your right foot forward if you're going to mirror me. Imagine there's a big cauldron in front of you, right? But the height of it is about the height of your navel. And you're going to dip your hands in the cauldron, and you're just going to begin stirring the cauldron like so. That's all it is. So if your right foot's forward, as you look down at your hands are going clockwise. And you're just going to dip the hands in the cauldron and stir. That's all it is. So maybe it's some kind of golden elixir, or maybe it's some kind of stew. I don't know. But you're stirring it up. And you don't have a ladle, so you're just using the fingertips, just stirring the cauldron. Let the rhythm of the breath be natural. You're going to shift the hips forward, shift the hips back, shift the hips forward, shift the hips back, just like so. And as you do this, at first you're letting the hands and the fingertips just do the work. You're just stirring it with the hands and the fingertips. And then see what happens if you begin to let the origin of the movement come from the wrists. So the wrists are circling and the hands and fingers are kind of flowing or even dragging behind, stirring the cauldron. Feel like you can take a little bit of a wider, lower stance. Or you can have it a little more narrow. Either way is fine. And now see what happens if you let the stirring come from the elbows, right? So the elbows are making the movements. You're still shifting the hips. But the elbows are the original sort of points of the movement, and the wrists follow behind the elbows, and the shoulders follow behind the wrists. Actually, forget about the shoulders there. Got a little carried away. The fingers follow behind the wrists. There we go. All right, now let's bring those shoulders into it. So let the origin of the movement be the shoulders. And maybe the movement doesn't really change much, but sort of sense of the origin of the movement is the shoulders. And now the elbows are following the shoulders. And the wrists follow behind the elbows. And the fingertips follow behind that, and you're stirring, and like there's a whirlpool. You know, you're just really stirring this stuff up. All right. Now see if you can lower the origin down to the space of the heart. So your heart is kind of doing circles in space, and the shoulders follow behind the heart, maybe just a fraction of a moment behind. And then the elbows kind of drag or flow behind the shoulders, and the wrists follow the elbows and out to the fingertips. And keep doing it, right? If you know certain kind of silk reeling practices, right? This kind of silk reeling, similar. Right? So pulling back, lifting up, but it's just transformed to down here. So you're doing the stirring the cauldron. Now see what happens if you lower it down to the height of the navel, between the navel and the mingmen. That's between the navel and the point on the spine directly opposite the navel. The navel starting the movements. And the heart follows the navel, maybe just flowing a fraction of a moment behind. And the shoulders follow the heart. And it moves down right to the elbows. And then the wrists. And then the fingers. And then your whirlpool down below, maybe. It's like a whirlpool down to hell. All right. And then let's do that a little bit more. All right. Let's switch sides. All right. So we'll do this one a little bit quicker, but you can do it longer on your own. So if you're mirroring me, the left foot's forward, and you begin stirring the cauldron. If your left foot's forward and you look down at your hands, the hands are now going counterclockwise. All right. So you get it going. Stir it up. And then let the wrists lead the way. Fingertips follow behind. And then the elbows lead the wrists. And then bring it up to the shoulders. So the arms are kind of flowing behind. And then drop it down to the heart. So the heart is leading the way. Shoulders follow the heart. Elbows follow the shoulders, and then the wrists and the fingers. And then see if you can lower it down to the navel as the starting point. And it flows up through the heart and the shoulders and the elbows and the wrists and the fingers. And as you do this, right, if all that seems too complicated, you just stir the cauldron. That works too. Release. I'm going to lower the chi 3 times down to the height of the navel. 1, 2, pausing briefly. Laogong points aimed at the navel. Last one on the way down. And then land your hands over the navel. All right, boom. That's that.